Welcome to Intuitive Wisdom Tarot. My name is Jen. I'm so glad you found your way here. We're going to use tarot today to check in with the emotional weather so you can move through your life with intention to manifest your best life. So tap that like button if you're ready to feel into the energy of March, because this month she's layered. March is a bridge month. We begin in Pisces season, which is soft, intuitive, emotional, deeply spiritual. Pisces energies ask, where are you being called to surrender? What needs compassion instead of control? And are you listening to your inner voice or drowning it out with noise? Pisces brings dreaminess, healing, creativity, and forgiveness. It's a part of you that wants to journal at midnight, cry during a song, and believe in miracles again. But it also asks you to release what you've outgrown. This is the end of the zodiac, completion energy, emotional closure, and soul detox. Then we shift. Hello, Aries season, the start of a new zodiac year. And Aries does not whisper. Aries is fire, initiative, courage. It's let's go energy. All about the Pisces, or after all of the Pisces reflection, Aries says, okay, now what are we actually doing about it? Aries brings bold beginnings, action, self-trust, leadership. It reminds you that you are allowed to take up space. Start the thing, speak up, and choose yourself. So March feels like the first half. Feel it, release it, forgive it. And then the second half, claim it, move on it, initiate it. This is a month of emotional clearing followed by brave action. So as we move into this reading, ask yourself, what dream am I ready to stop just dreaming about and get started on? And what part of me is ready to be reborn? Let's see what the cards want to say for March. So air signs, let's jump in. All right, I'm going to move these over here. And we're going to start with a wisdom of the oracle to get a general energy to start our read. Let's see what March has in store for you air signs. All right, thank you, Spirit. And we are getting for you to the sea. This is all about moving forward, going with the flow, starting something new. We have a person here in this little boat, and there's like a direction, and it's like there's a direction that you are being called to flow in. Let's see what the message is for to the sea. This is number 7. All right. Being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. The oracle message. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life? When events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. So there is a direction, there is a flow. The universe is coming in saying, hey, this is the direction you need to go. And it really feels to me that this is a direction you've called in. So you have asked the questions and you have said, hey, I want to do this. What's my next step? Where do I go? So this month is all about you going with the flow, flowing with the current of what's going on. And when we think about, again, March, we're starting with Pisces season. So there's a part of this river to the sea that's saying, use this time for emotional healing. Use this time to connect deeply with spirit. And then as we move into the later part of March, use this time to initiate Okay, what's the next step? What's the project that you want to work on? What is it that you want to manifest and draw in? All right, so let's jump into tarot and see what we have for air signs. All right, so our first card is the King of Cups. This is the energy that you are needing to embody, or you are embodying as we move into March. Next card, this is what you are meant to co-create with the universe. Next card is what energy you should lean into. And this is advice from Spirit. All right, so air signs. We have 2 air cards out here. Our swords are air energy. So there are going to be lots of things on your mind. There's going to be clarity coming in. Again, I was picking up on questions or answers to questions that you have set out there, and there is a clarity coming in. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So taking action with decisiveness, clarity, but also really tapping into your emotional side. So air signs are all about in the intellect, minds, thoughts, communications, but there's a big message coming through that you are sitting very sturdy in a emotional way. We're going to dive a little deeper, so let's go ahead and get started. So on the bottom of the deck we have the 3 of Wands. So this is the energy that's underneath it all. So this month there are energies of the 3 of Wands. This is expansion. So there is something that you are expanding on, a vision. It has to do with passions. It could very well do with your career, your passion projects. This could very well be maybe a relationship that you have started, but there's a vision, there's a big picture that you are really underneath it all projecting into the universe. Okay, and the universe is picking up on those vibes. Here you are at this perspective where you're really looking out into this open environment, and it's literally calling your ship in. So you're calling in an opportunity. And this is an energy that you have been in. So again, there have been things that you have put out into the universe saying, this is what I want. And the universe is picking up on that message. So be cognizant or really aware of what's coming towards you, because the signs and synchronicities, the things that you are calling in, they're on its way if they haven't already arrived, because your ship could very well be there. It's now time for you to step on that and start that new adventure. So again, this is all about this big vision and really calling in those things. Let's see what that's all about. So the energy that you are embodying or needing to embody on this during this month is the King of Cups. Now, excuse me, this is a king that is emotionally grounded. This is a king that is compassionate, is caring, is very considerate, but is so deeply connected and has done their own emotional work that when they act in those ways. And there is a stability, there is a calm clarity that this king really demonstrates no matter what's happening around in their environment. So we see all these choppy waters. And so it sounds like, or feels like this month, there is going to be lots of things happening in your environment. So it could very well be things outside of your control. Very well could be things that it could be divine timing. It could be within your community, maybe in your family, things, but it's a lot to do with emotions. And you are sitting very sturdy. And if you're not there yet, it is time for you to ground within your emotions. So ground into the stability of you, one, really reflecting on you doing the emotional work. that's something about air signs. When we really think about it, it's not that air signs don't feel emotions. It's that air signs, you have a they have done some work to make decisions that are not involving emotions. Now, if you are one that is at this time, because again, in all our charts, in fact, I have 2 airs and an earth sign in my chart. If you are one that is starting to have your emotions ruffled, what this is really saying is that it's time for you to do some cleansing of those emotions. So when we think about, again, March, that first half is all about Pisces. So Pisces is very watery. Pisces is very intuitive. Pisces is all about feelings. And it's utilizing that energy to heal some of those wounds so that there's a stability and a groundedness that you are going to embody as you are working through this month and through everything that's happening around you. For those of you who have already done the work, it's taking those energetic cords, those things that are still attached, it's cutting them out and saying, I'm not going to let this control or be a part of me making decisions moving forward, going with the flow, right? So when we see this choppy waters, going with the flow might be, I'm going to step back. I'm not going to respond. Or maybe there is a point where you have to step in and you are being the emotional rock and the mentor and the leader, and others are needing to see that. So it's really understanding the energy that's happening throughout this month of March. And when we think about it too, we will be shifting out of winter and we're moving into spring. And so there's an energy again of shifting, and it's going with the flow. So we're coming kind of out of hibernation into a more active energy. And that's really, when we think about going to the sea, it's really knowing what's happening around you and responding emotionally with groundedness, responding with our mental clarity, and knowing that our emotions aren't going to get in the way of that or direct the show. Yes, they are very important to listen to because they are signals of saying, yes, are we safe? No, we're not. Or are there things that we need to heal or things that we need to really focus on? So yes, they're signals, but they're not running the show. You are, and you're sitting in a very clear, very grounded emotional state. And that's because what you are doing is you're co-creating the Knight of Swords. Now the Knight of Swords, it's a very active energy. In fact, this is one of the fastest knights and fastest cards in our deck. But again, this is all air. This is all clarity. This is all truth, discernment. And this is go for it. So what you are needing to co-create is the action to get started on what you need to get started with. But again, a big message with this is go with the flow. If the energy, and again, it's really, I'm thinking about that beginning of the month of March. It's all about healing and it's all about releasing. And if you're jumping too fast into going forward without doing the healing that you need to, it could be a block in the road as you continue. So Spirit is really coming in saying, co-create, yes, moving forward, getting started, initiating, but make sure you're doing the healing work first. Make sure that you're not just impulsively running through. And make sure that you're not letting your emotions run the show. Keep clarity, have conversations, know where you're going, and use the energy that is being given during this month, shifting from Pisces, and again, shifting from the ending of the cycle, the ending of that zodiac year, and then take action, but do it in the timeline that's needed. Okay, it's not just I'm jumping right in, because yes, you are starting something brand new. You're moving into Aries season, which is all about initiation, all about building. Okay, you are being reborn, and there is a real clear message coming through that you are going to be in a space of power, because this is an air card, right? You're going to have the energy that you need to initiate what you need to initiate. So you are to co-create that action, those steps, that plan moving forward. And it's time to take those steps. But make sure that you are really thinking about the timeline with the flow, right? If the energy is saying it's time to be slow and soft, go with slow and soft. You can still be discerning. You can still have those conversations, but slow it down. And then as soon as that energy starts to rev up again, when we're moving into the spring solstice and we're moving into Aries season, yes, and that's the beginning of the zodiac, go for it. This is your yes. Now, the energy you need to lean into is the clarity, because there is a big victory that is coming through with this. What you are working on, what you are receiving the clarity with, the raw power, the discernment, the hand of spirit is coming in saying, hey, I'm going to give this to you because 1, you're going to use it well. And 2, you're going to be able to use it to create and manifest what you are needing to create the best life that you are needing to live, right? So this is a big sign of saying, not only are you going to be knowing, like, I'm going to have my nudges, I'm going to listen to my intuition, I'm going to make sure that my energy and my emotions are grounded, I'm going to make sure that I'm going with the flow, but I'm also using my spiritual clarity, the things, the downloads that are coming through from spirit. There are going to be signs and synchronicities and the things that spirit is handing you. So this is the energy you lean into. Take this sword of power and communicate what you need to communicate. Create the steps that you need to. Now, this is also an ace, so it's just that first step. This is really saying you're going to lean into taking that initiative, taking that first step, or that second step or third step. But it's not going to be done just at this time. And this is something that is going to be coming to you towards the end of the month, because that is going to be Aries season. That is where you're going to initiate, where you're going to start. So whatever you're creating, again, place it where it resonates. So if you're creating or you're calling in what you need for a relationship, keep your eyes open, your ears open, your senses open, your mind, clarity. I'm getting some third eye as well as crown chakra energy coming through, because there are downloads that spirit is going to be giving you. There is, again, there could very well be, I'm feeling some wind. So you may be in a place and all of a sudden a big gust of wind comes through and it either blows the sign to you, or it blows in that clarity that you're looking for. Or maybe you are planning a trip. I just got in my mind the Windy City. So maybe that's a place where you are needing to go, or you're planning to go, that there's going to be an opportunity that comes through. So again, I'm getting think outside of the box, especially when it comes to those intuitive downloads, or those downloads that are coming through our chakras, our third eye, as well as our crown, because there's going to be some information coming through from spirit. And also, there might be some information that you might need to take some steps on. You might do some research. You might get that intuitive download and go, oh, I never thought I needed to get that book. I'm going to get that book. Or, oh, I didn't know that I needed to write that. So you're going to write that. So again, there could be some things that may not be typical of what you do, but it's what you need to be doing. Okay, so there's some messages coming through. So again, be open to what's happening. Now, advice from Spirit is the Strength card. Now, this is really coming in saying you are being guided to really tap into your inner strength, into your confidence, into your own power, because this is what you will be using as you are, again, flowing through this month. You are healing, and then you are initiating what that next step is. Now, there is a message coming through that some of you are needing to calm that inner critic. Okay, as we see, she is calming this lion, and this lion can also be that wild side of us, our inner critic roaring, saying, you can't do this, I can't believe this is, you think you can get this done. But Spirit is saying, calm that. You have the confidence, you have the clarity, you have the emotional groundedness, you have the energy to expand. And what I was getting off of that Ace of Swords, saying that some of those things that you're going to be called to do are not typical of what you normally do. So it can be a bit scary, but advice is really saying use that, because Spirit's not going to give you something that you can't handle. And again, the universe is responding to what you're putting out there. So some of you have called in something different, and it could very well be like, I'm getting the Four of Cups in my mind, this apathy of life, this apathy of, oh my gosh, it's the same old, I'm bored, I need something different. And so that is the energy that you are putting out there. And you could very well be, oh no, that's not what I want, because man, that's scary. But the universe is responding in the way saying, it's okay. You have the strength, the courage, and the power to be able to do that. And I'm not going to give you anything you cannot handle. So what's coming through is really stand true to who you are. Take those risks, because there is a part of you that is needing to grow and prosper through that. And you will grow and prosper through that by taking risks, calming that critic, and really tapping into your grace and your strength and this just immense power that you have. And it's so that you can continue to grow that. Beautiful. All right, we're going to end our read with a inspiration. All right, so this jumped right out. So this is your inspiration for March. Release the need for the ego. The ego tells you that you're separate from everyone else, and more than anything, it fears you're living an inspired life. Why? Because when you're in spirit, you have no need for the ego and have no illusion of being the false self. Therefore, the ego has no influence over you. Oh, this is a big tie-in with that strength card. Really, you're meant to be inspired. What you are working on, you are meant to do for this month. So some of you could very well be inspirational and or spiritual leaders, and that could be a little scary because you're like, oh, that's not me, but you are meant to do that. So release the need, right? Because you are meant to live an inspired life. You are meant to live in spirit, right? And that is because you have a greater calling. And this month is really a month to be able to figure out what that is. And or just step into that role. Beautiful. All right, air signs, that's what I have for you for the month of March. Please tap like, consider subscribing, and leave me a comment. I love connecting with you. Until we meet again, with much love and appreciation, be well. Bye-bye.